All right, welcome to the Peeps Creek, the cafe where you can order your favorite drink, sit at our table, and listen to some slightly intense but definitely worthwhile conversations. A podcast where you can drink, listen, and converse. Today in the cafe, I am joined by my fraternity brother,
Monty Guns.
Monty Guns from where?
I am from Hampton, Virginia.
All right, and what are we drinking on today, Monty?
Let's pull out that bottle of Hennessy.
This is a Henny Toddy. That is a hot toddy with Hennessy instead of bourbon. So remember, if you are over the age of 21, you can also grab you a drink, or if you're not over the age of 21, you can bring you some water, some tea, some coffee, or maybe some apple juice, even some hot cocoa. All right, let's get into the conversation.
So, what's on the menu today at Peeps Creek?
Hot stuff coming up.
All right, so on the menu today is Divorcing 2019 and Engaging with 2020. That's a powerful title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right. So, if you don't know, today is December the 31st. So, that is the last day of the decade. Now, technically, there's currently a debate going on whether or not the decade actually is ending or not, but I subscribe to the view that it is. So I am going to say that this is the last day of the decade, and we are venturing into a new decade, a new year, and every time there's a new year, we always have these New Year's resolutions. So Monty, first and foremost, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I do.
All right. And what is that?
Okay, so I'm mixed. I'm Black and Hispanic, yet I speak no Espanol. So my New Year's resolution would be to pick up Spanish.
And why did you decide to do that? Why is that important?
I feel like we need to, communicate every way possible. I'd also like to learn sign language. I think that'd be great to know, to learn. Communication's key.
Communication's key. So my son is also African American and Hispanic. He can read Spanish very well. He can understand it very well. However, I am uncertain as to whether or not he can actually speak it because he refused to ever speak it.
Gotcha.
And he says that he does not want to speak it because he doesn't need to. But I'm going to put you in touch with him, and maybe you can have a conversation with him to try to enlighten him as to why it's important for him to understand his heritage in the sense of actually speaking the language.
Yeah, I actually think he'd have a better chance of learning it a lot faster and becoming a lot fluent in it because of his age.
Exactly. So. Yeah, and his abuela, she primarily only speaks Spanish, so yeah, it works. All right, so let me tell you how I came up with this topic. So I saw a post on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm going to read the post because it's important.
Sure.
For context of this discussion. All right. And then we're going to come back to it. But basically what it is this. Individuals are posting their picture and they're asking people to copy and paste the same thing. And what it says is, I am divorcing my past, 2019, divorcing my pain, divorcing my doubt, divorcing my setbacks, divorcing negative people, and divorcing lack. Yeah, divorcing lack, divorcing grief, divorcing my struggle. It's over, and I am done with it. The judge gave me full custody of my destiny, full custody of my calling, full custody of my life. Divorce yourself from your past so that your future can be released. Amen is what it says. And then it says, I am now engaged to my bright future 2020 vision. So that's how I came with this topic. So divorce in 2019 and engaging with 2020. So before we go into the meats and guts of that particular conversation, I figured we'll start off with some little icebreaker.
Sure.
All right. So tell me, from 2019, what's your favorite song?
I can give you an artist off the top of the head. It's quite a few. I'll go with Chance the Rapper.
Chance the Rapper. Is there a particular song or no?
Not a particular song.
And why Chance the Rapper?
A vibe. He's an energy.
All right.
I can kind of see myself projected in him, so I feel like it's easy to relate and understand what he's, rapping and singing about.
All right. So, for me, I don't necessarily have a favorite song, but I did do the Apple Replay
Gotcha.
playlist thing.
Yeah.
And from 2019, it said that I listened to 67 different artists. And my number one artist I listened to was Patti LaBelle. So everyone knows I love Patti LaBelle. So I told my son showed me his, and then I showed him mine. He was like, yeah, I already knew it was going to be Patti LaBelle. And then I think my next artist after that is Buju Banton.
Okay.
And then the next artist is, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Buika or Buika, Buika.
Gotcha.
So let's move on to another one. Your favorite movie from 2019?
Definitely Queen and Slim.
Didn't that just come out like a week ago?
Yes.
That don't really count. It is the end of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, hands down, that would have to be the best one that I've seen. I feel like the overall projection was poetry. So it was very easy to watch. It was very empowering and impactful. It was definitely moments there that, just being a black person, it is definitely moments there that are going to hit you a little different. But it was poetry to watch. It was very real.
Okay, so for me, I would definitely have to either say Endgame.
Okay.
Or it's a Netflix movie. I don't know why, but I thought it was funny. I thought it was good. And it was based off a real life story. Dolomite Is My Name.
Okay.
With Eddie Murphy. You haven't seen that one? Check it out on Netflix. It's pretty good. All right. So, but this is the end of the decade. Did you know you're a Harry Potter fan?
I've seen them.
Okay. Anyway, I've seen all of them. I've never read the books. I tried to, but Snorefest.
Some things look like the Bible.
They are long, and the early ones are super long. And I guess I don't know. It was too long for me. But this is the decade of the last two Harry Potter movies.
Oh, okay.
So, Harry Potter: The Deathly Hallows Part 1 was released in 2010,
Okay.
which was the start of this decade. And the last movie, Part 2, was released 2011. So we went 8 years without any other Harry Potter movie.
Oh, wow.
Although it was that other one, like
Gotcha.
I don't know what it was, the one of trying to start off like when he was young, one of the people,
Okay.
his father. Yeah, but I don't know when that was released, but that don't count. All right. 2019, what was your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
Water.
Water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
And why is that?
Because we need it.
All right. So I would say water as well. I think I drink more water than anything.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your favorite alcoholic drink?
I like dark liquor.
Any dark liquor?
I'm looking down now and I see this Kraken bottle. I love Kraken. It's dark. It's rum.
You like that rum?
I love it.
I bought this rum, right? I hate this fucking
I love
rum.
it.
I cannot drink it. I tried to mix it with God knows what.
You don't
else.
mix it. Just drink that shit.
Yeah, no. Not good.
Yeah.
And it's a huge ass bottle, as you
Yeah,
can
that's
see.
been my drink since I crossed.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 2014. Kraken. Unleash the Kraken.
All right. So mine is definitely Bullet Bourbon.
Gotcha.
They not really sponsor me, so I really shouldn't say their name. But if you out there listening, Bullet, I would love to get a sponsorship. I would promote the hell out of your bourbon, okay? Happiest moment in 2019.
This one's kind of dated back because this has been my third year that I've worked for myself. So I think after making it over that 2-year hump and going into the third year of working for myself, that's probably been my most exciting.
Just for the listeners, so we can make sure that we're clear, because he didn't follow direction. He went back to 2016. 17, 16. I said this year. So basically, what
Just
I
that
understand,
overall accomplishment of it. Yeah.
in 2019, the happiest moment is the fact that you're still employed for yourself, and you're doing good for yourself.
Yeah.
And you have crossed that hump of like, damn, why did I do this?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Congratulations, bro.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. What would be, I guess I should ask myself that. My happiest moment in 2019 would be me taking control of my son's schooling and homeschooling.
Nice.
So that would be my happiest
I
moment.
was actually homeschooled up until the 2nd grade.
Were you?
Yeah.
Do you remember like
Not much.
your lowest moment of 2019? And for those of you listening, if you hear that little bubble sound in the back, we are also partaking in hookah at the cafe today, and we are smoking apple mint flavor. It's
very
pretty
good.
Yeah. All right. Lowest moment.
Lowest moment. So, my parents are actually foster parents for the city that we live in, and we actually had 2 children that they were trying to split within the state. I guess the age difference, and also one female, one male. So we got them, and we had them for going on 2 years, and out of nowhere, the aunt comes, and she gets everything she needs to do to
The biological.
Yes. Of one of the children.
One of the children.
Right. So I guess legally, everything was done correctly, and my parents are just temporary placements.
Right. Because they were not in the process of adopting.
Correct. And I think, again, because the state was trying to split them, and in the same matter, like the mom was also trying to get them back. So my parents were probably the best placement for them because my parents didn't want to split them.
And when you say them, so I'm assuming the 2 children were biologically connected.
Yes,
their
same
family.
mother.
So they're brother and sister, or sisters, or what?
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister.
Right.
How old were they again?
We got Belle maybe 7 months, and Johnny just turned 3.
And how long you all had them?
Going on 2 years. Finishing out this year, probably going to February would have been 2 complete years.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
The lowest point for me, I think, for 2019 was that I lost the individual who I call my father. So, and I did not go to the funeral. And he and I had some moments, and actually years, where we kind of didn't talk the way we used to because there were some problems, and I never had the opportunity to address them. So the lowest moment was losing that person who never had to be in my life, but chose to be in my life because, it wasn't like, and I'll make this very quick, but it wasn't like he and my mom was married when I was born. It was my oldest brother's father. And when I was born, he was pretty much out of the picture. But he will always come and do what he needs to do for my oldest brother. And literally, he always made me feel as if I was his son and never made me feel left out.
Right.
So anyway, that was my lowest point. Losing that individual and not being able to actually have the conversation that needed to be had.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. All right, so let's move to the main meat of the conversation. So, Monty.
Yeah.
What are you divorcing in 2019?
Well, when you kind of brought up the topic, I immediately went to thinking, again, like divorcing. The word divorce is like a legal agreement or separation, more so after the agreement. So when asked that question, I was thinking first, did you marry whatever it is that you are divorcing? I do understand the energy.
You just try to be like all philosophical and shit.
No,
I
seriously.
mean, why you just go with
because when I did hear
flow?
divorce, I thought of a relationship. And not to say you can't have a relationship with yourself, but before you divorce yourself, did you marry yourself? Were you truly committed to whatever it is that you're now divorcing and getting separated from?
I agree, but if you can see, when I'm a lawyer, so now
Gotcha.
you about to make me move
Yeah,
forward
yeah,
and
do
keep the
that.
conversation going differently than what the topic is.
Okay.
But the reality is that's true.
Yeah.
But a lot of people marry and get into committed relationships with individuals with whom they don't know enough to actually marry. And so you go and you rush into a relationship, you rush into a marriage, and you end up rushing to the courthouse for a divorce.
Gotcha.
So, but I thought you were watching something earlier on that whole
I was on the Breakfast Club actually this morning, and I forgot
They're not doing a sponsorship yet, people, but Breakfast Club, if you listening, and you better stop doing all this free advertisement for all these places that have a whole lot of listeners and viewers and money coming in. But go ahead.
The gentleman on the show was speaking on marriage and, relationships and divorce and things of that nature. And he stated how, the blacks are, whether it be black men, black women, the black community itself, we are the number one spinners, and we're also the number one leads in divorce, and we don't own anything.
So we go through these divorces and
we're fighting for nothing.
We're fighting for nothing because there's really nothing truly to divide.
Fight. Right. Correct. So
and you were saying something earlier, not to something about 50-50, 100.
Right. Absolutely. A lot of people think you go into these relationships 50-50, but it's absolutely 100 and 100. And so even going back to the divorce, which it's unfortunate because, if we are speaking on marriage or a relationship, people can, come together. But we all change. We're like the seasons, It can be for good, it can be for bad. But I do think we experience growth over the years and as time goes. So to completely divorce, your past is just weird because that's your transition, that's your growth. So you would never want to, remove it or divorce it. I think you'd want to cherish it. You'd want to understand what you learned from it.
But okay.
Yeah.
But can you do that and still do that in a divorce?
Sure.
Because if I divorce someone, right, I'm no longer married to that person.
Sure.
I'm no longer committed to that person.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that the experiences, good or bad, or the memories, good or bad, leave. And so even as I transition to something new, there are things about that relationship that, hell, I don't want to see in another person. Or there are things in that relationship that I want the other person to actually bring or have available.
No, I feel that. I absolutely do. But I'm going to just take it back to I'll say my parents' parents. I'm almost certain that they, let's say, hated each other. But they didn't get a divorce, so they did grow with the person that they married. And I think that we should choose to do the same just within that concept. I think nowadays it's too easy to get divorced. It's really easy to get married. It seems like it's easier to get divorced. So, I think, again, going into the...
So you want me to wake up next to somebody who I don't fucking like?
Nah, just don't jump right into it. Marry yourself first. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I'm at with it. So before divorcing all of these bad habits of self, marry yourself. Understand what you do wrong and what you do right, and, your dislikes and what you do like. But, yeah.
Now that you went on that long segue to nothingness, so no, I'm just playing.
Somebody followed me.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's go back to the question. Mm-hmm. Now, given your philosophical difference, we got that, but you also know what the subject means. So, in 2019, what is it that you're divorcing, if anything?
Sure. So one thing that I would definitely want to get rid of throughout my college years, even tobacco has been something that will pop up. Whether it be periodically at a party, after, a couple of drinks, whether it be a black or cigarettes. I want to absolutely divorce tobacco. It's disgusting to me that, we read the label, and I'm a vegetarian. So, even going back to non-GMO and things of that nature, we'll read this stuff, but we still put it in our bodies.
A vegetarian people who periodically will eat fish.
Every now and again. But hey, going back to the shrimp.
We just had this whole conversation.
That was weird for me yesterday. That was so weird for me. And by the way, I've been a vegetarian for 12 years, and I've only did seafood 3 out of those 12 years. So
you don't have to prove to me because I don't care what you eat.
We're just gonna let you know, But again, going back to those shrimp tacos, I couldn't do it. It tastes too muscly for me. I couldn't do it.
Okay, but that's not on the topic. Let's go back to the topic. So you want to get rid of tobacco, including so does that include marijuana?
No. Oh no.
You can't give that up.
Nah, never. That's the lead in my vegetarianism.
Okay, well, I'm going to pray for it. We're going to pray for it. Okay, so you're divorcing that in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, going into,
yeah. This is the last day.
At least I want to,
You can write yourself a letter today when we're done with this podcast. I leave you tobacco in 2019.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think I'll write it while smoking a J.
There you go. Do whatever you got to do. Just don't smoke it in here. We don't smoke at the cafe. All right. For me, I think what I'm divorcing in 2019 is self-deprecation.
Elaborate for me.
anyone who knows me, is not a lot of people because I'm very private, but anyone who knows me, I have this self-esteem issue, that I am finally realizing that I'm okay. Like, I can love myself, what I look like, how I look, and still be the baddest motherfucker in the room. And I need to start recognizing my own self-worth. And I don't do that enough.
Okay.
And so, like, I have this whole thing. I'm always working out. I love to work out, because mentally it gets me where I need to be. But I also just think it's a healthy thing. But, if I walk past a mirror, I'm like, got a lot of shit to work on. And so I'm always trying to fix something that other people don't even see. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I do think a little of that stems from social media. I do feel like, we see a lot that we don't really see. So we're just seeing it just because it is shared with us, but we're not experiencing that ourselves. So what we tend to do is a lot of self-comparison, and we don't even know it.
True.
So
like subconscious, like unconscious bias.
Yeah.
Like you have these biases against groups of individuals because of whatever reason, and you don't even know it.
Right.
And oftentimes you would be the first one to be like, nah, I'm not racist, or
Exactly.
no, I don't care about gays or straights or whatever. And you'll be the first one subconsciously, who has something.
I mean, hey, even if someone posts on their social media and they post their keys in their house and it's like, hey, new house, we automatically go, wow, why don't I have that yet? What did I not do right exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I agree with that. So that's what I'm divorcing. And the other thing that I'm divorcing is fake ass people.
Okay.
Now,
how do you find those, though? How do you determine?
I'm going to determine it. I've came up with my own formula.
Okay.
And here's my formula. Okay. So if I take initiative to try to reach out to you, communicate with you, hang out with you, try to check on you, see how you're doing, and I get nothing in return, not even like it's okay, or I'm doing okay, or maybe another day. Like, especially when you send like DMs, you can see people reading your messages, or if they got you read
social media
or if they got you read on iMessage and you see they read it,
Gotcha.
they read it, and there's like no response, or they respond 3 weeks later. I'm not saying that you have to immediately respond, but you have to have some kind of decency and respect for an individual with whom you claim is your friend to respond. And so I've already begun the process of purging.
Gotcha.
Like, I've unfollowed folks. Like, if you ain't following me and we've been communicating, and I know that sounds weird.
No, I got you.
But I'm giving you energy when I'm posting, or I'm going through your stories, or I'm going through your liking your pictures. That's energy that I'm giving to you that I can give to someone who's also giving me that same energy in return.
So I have two, questions. One's the question.
Yes.
And this could be a little personal, but have you ever been depressed before?
Last year, I actually wrote on my social media that I realized that I was in a state of depression.
Okay, so that's just kind of me picking up on the, hitting someone up and they don't respond back immediately, or within more so a time frame that's comfortable for you. And I'm only saying that again because if you have been depressed, you know that it is a very selfish moment for that person. So anything coming to that person that doesn't directly involve them, they won't perceive it. And again, because they are depressed, they're in the dark. So they're not getting that same message from their good friend. They're just hearing a hello or hey, so they're in the dark. So, I mean, that's my...
So are you saying that the other person could be depressed, and so my message isn't... I get that.
Again, going back to social media, and that was my second thing. Social media, we only put the best of. We'll do the depression thing, or hey, I've been in a... we'll do that when we do feel it's necessary to share at a mass. And that's kind of an excuse for us to just really not deal with it, but hey, we put it out there. So those that do care, they'll contact me back. But again, it's social media. You know what I'm saying? So, and then again, when you say you were doing your purging, my question with that was, did you unfollow any celebrities? Or do you still follow celebrities?
I unfollowed some celebrities because I felt like their energy is not something that's needed for me at the moment.
Absolutely.
So now I will say that I also have some celebrities who took the time and decency to follow me back.
Okay.
Yes, so the answer is yes.
Gotcha.
Why? Why did you ask that question?
Because you did say that anybody that wasn't following you back.
I knew that wouldn't be the thing, but yes.
But yeah, we tend to get on social media and we'll follow our favorite celebrity. And again, our celebrity doesn't know who we are, you know? And then we'll have friends or people that we do associate with or at least know. And it's like, oh, you don't have enough likes or you're not worth my follow, you know?
Oh, yeah, but I don't really care about that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, I will post a post and you can like it or you not like it.
It's a bit frustrating to me. My account isn't private. So when I do share, I share with the world. So I'm almost expecting everyone to see it. But when I do have, let's say, those friends or those,
think he Kylie Jenner.
I mean, shit. if I hashtag Kylie Jenner, just about everybody that's seeing her, well, yeah, we'll see that picture.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because again, you'll have someone bring up a conversation. Oh my God, like I loved your pictures. You know, like they'll talk about something you posted, but they didn't express it when you posted it. So it's a very mixed emotion, you know?
Okay, so I'm gonna push back with that a little bit because I feel like doesn't that go against your whole thing when you're saying social media, like we're comparing? A like is a comparison in the sense of you're validating something that I'm putting out there. And so why do you need that validation? Because people can view the picture, people can then send other people, look, this guy just posted a nice picture.
Right.
He takes good pictures or blah, blah, blah. They would send them to you.
Right.
But they don't necessarily have to like it. Or maybe it's accidentally that they don't. So why do you need that like? I'm just going to use the term validation because to me that's what it is.
Okay.
But why do you need that validation?
So, for me, it's definitely not about the like at all. I think the point that I'm making is the fact that you will have someone follow your life. And they would speak on it as if they do know you or they do, you know, oh, hey, I seen such and such. But I know I didn't share this information with them. And so by them not at least liking the photo, how did you come up with this? Yeah. So then it becomes a sort of like, oh, you're just kind of watching me, you know? Going back to the celebrity.
Just nosy.
Yeah, going back to the celebrity.
In my business for no reason.
It definitely has you feeling a celebrity status because it's like, okay, again, I take the time. I like photos. I comment. You know, that's what social media is for. I got a lot of friends that, and I'm using the term friend very loosely, but there's people that I went to elementary school with when I was in Maryland, and then I moved to Virginia. So when moving to Virginia, that's when social media became a thing. So I went ahead and followed everybody in my elementary school yearbook just to catch up and see how they're doing. So these selective, genuine few, I know that when I message, it's like, oh my God, your mom looks amazing still. Like, oh wow, look at your little sister, she's so big. We're actually able to communicate off of the relationship that we had, you know, prior. But then there's a lot of people that I've met, you know, and I think they find themselves a little bit of elitism because they have been beside me physically. But then going back to the social media, they have such a ghost presence, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a very weird situation.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I would sum it up like this, and then we'll move on. For instance, someone would call you, right?
Okay.
And maybe you won't do this, but I do it all the time. Someone will call me, I'll hit the do not disturb, or I'll hit the end.
My phone is actually on do not disturb, and it has been for this entire week.
Okay, great. So, but I will hit the end button, and then I'll send a text message, hey, what's up?
Right.
But the reality...
You won't get to respond.
Well, it's not that. It's just that I am more comfortable with texting.
Yeah, because you want to know what's going on.
Versus
a surprise. I don't like surprises either.
Well, it's not that. I just don't like having conversations by the phone.
Okay.
So I can have a whole long-ass conversation by text message because that's just the method and manner in which I like to communicate with people recently.
Gotcha.
And so when folks call and I send them to voicemail because most people know I don't like talking to them. Now,
gotcha.
I say that to say, going back to your situation, maybe those individuals take more solace in the fact that they're giving you their attention, their energy in person. And so therefore you should recognize that they have more of, they want you to win, or they want you to know that they are supporting or rallying or cheerleading behind you. And they're not just these sparse friends that you have through social media?
As far as social media goes, I've always been a guru in it. I love social media. I'm a guru. I mean, hey, I'm a photographer and I take nice pictures.
He's taking classes, 1-800-Monty Guns, and he'll show you how to navigate through social media.
Be a social media guru. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
But again, I've always, I mean, hey, call me Kim K if you want. But again, I love her attitude. Kim K thinks very highly of her. She's not going to allow someone else's opinion to, in a sense, partake how she sees herself. Kim K is one that puts herself out there, and she definitely has that scale of she'll have more followers than she's following. Okay? There's some people that are just like that. They're entertainers. They're artists. I do categorize myself as that. Going back to what you said as far as support, if that friend would like to just have a personal relationship with me in person, that's fine. But then I would need them to know that as far as social media, the way that I view my social media is I am a Kim K. So with that being said, it's not going to be a validation of, oh, hey, I know you, so you have to follow me back on social media. A lot of the people I do associate with, and again, you are who you keep. You are your company that you keep. But whether it's just the experience that I'm going in and, they're not, or if they have children, I don't, those things, you do have to considerate those in your life. And I think that's where, again, going back to the whole friend thing and friend on social media, I am looking for the support on social media, the likes, the reposts. That's what we're using this for. Again, I do have those friends that I went to elementary school with, and we do have a social media relationship where we're keeping up with our relationship. But then outside of those people, I am looking for the validated, double tap, the reshare, the, hey, go check out this photographer here. I am looking for that.
All right, we're going to move on. All right, so you're divorcing that in 2019. Are you divorcing any pain for 2019?
I'm gonna just share this. I don't know if this answers the question, but I was getting a tattoo this year, and the tattoo artist said, and I don't know if I'm quoting it right, but pain has no pain, or pain doesn't hurt. It was something along those lines.
Okay.
So I guess to answer that question, I'm gonna say no, because if pain has no pain, so it was kind of a lesson within itself.
All right. What about divorcing doubt? Are you doubting yourself? Are you doubting the situation? Is there anything that you are doubting that you would like to divorce and leave in 2019?
I don't think so.
I think for me, happiness.
What are you doubting?
And I'm divorcing the doubt of me being able to have happiness, all-inclusive happiness.
Okay.
So I am a single father, so I'm happy with my relationship with my son. I'm happy that I am able to maintain my household. I'm happy that I'm able to be a role model to him and to hear him say it without me just forcing myself to think I am, but to hear him say it. I'm happy to be a role model for his brother, who is not my child. But I'm happy that those individuals think enough of me that they can see something in me to be like and to be better than. Okay?
Gotcha.
The one avenue of happiness that I haven't truly experienced, I think, is love. Like, I have not finessed or captured or, I don't know, just like experienced truthfully.
I got you.
Yeah.
Just a little pushback.
You can push back all day long.
But again, when you say love, like, are you being picky with whom? I guess the love.
Nah,
is?
I don't think so. I think I don't think I'm picky with that.
No, but no, not even like a relationship or a spouse. More so, I'm not saying love within a spouse, but like, one could love their dog. One could love nothing that's a house or an object, but of another being. Your son.
I said that already.
Right,
That's the first person.
Right. So like my thing is, like, again, you're looking for love, but are you being picky with whom?
Maybe I feel like I love that I'm doing what I love to do.
Gotcha.
I love that I am a father.
Right.
I love that I have a son with whom I have a great relationship. I love the fact that my son can come and talk to me about anything, and vice versa. I can go and talk to him about anything, and we be truthful about each other. And even if we disagree, we walk away from that in love with each other still. Right. I love the fact, it's all to my son.
I get it.
I really love him.
As I hear you say it,
the fact that
it's beautiful.
But I love the fact that every text message that our conversations with each other, we make sure that at the end, the completion of that text message, that we always say, I love you,
right.
and I love you too.
Right.
I love that. But that is a different type of love.
Right, and that's what I'm getting at.
And I love my dog. I have a pug terrier. Okay. I love my dog. Okay. I used to sleep with my dog all the time, but he sheds a whole lot. And I was in this relationship, and the shedding didn't work. And even I had this dog when I was married to Davion's mom. And and she was like, okay, this dog hair is everywhere. You're going to have to decide, sleeping in this room with me or sleeping in another room. And so, every couple of days, I would go in the other room and sleep with my dog. I love my dog. That is love.
Right.
Okay. But there is a difference of falling in love with someone with whom you can grow with, you can cherish with, who you feel like you have this other type of cheerleader behind you.
Gotcha.
And so that is what I'm doubting that I'm going to find, but I want to leave that doubt in 2019.
Yeah. I think my argument with that is, again, I don't think that you haven't found love. I think it is the whom, because I think that all the love and everything that you do have, the relationship with your son, you understand what love is.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So,
yeah. I get that. I come home and my dog is the first thing that comes to the door and he's jumping on me. That's unconditional love. Exactly. Like, so I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just a quick fact: the love that we get from our animals is like eating chocolate. It does something to the brain.
Who told you that?
It's Google it.
Google it.
I want to say I learned it on the.
You must have been reading that in the back of one of your weed packages.
No, I think again, I don't want to shout out another person, but Joe Rogan has a nice podcast, and
oh my God. If you shout out another mother.
It's really great.
All right, moving on. All right, divorce and setbacks. Are there any setbacks that you are divorcing in 2019?
No.
Okay, what about negative people?
Yeah.
Why?
And because not everybody deserves your energy.
And what about, are you divorcing negative people in life?
Sure. But with kindness,
What does that mean?
I'm willing to talk, sit with anybody. I'm not much of an aggressive, a fighter, hard-headed. That's not me at all. So I'm willing to talk with anybody. And I think just bringing it up to them, like, what's the issue exactly? Like, you're not my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Why is there an issue? Just kind of, I guess, allowing them to hear what is the problem. I'm fine for going out for drinks or, oh, hey, I seen you at the beach. Hey, speak. Yeah, sure.
For me, I don't know if I'm necessarily divorcing negative people. Some people may view me as negative. So, but what I am divorcing is the fact that, I love hard. I love people hard.
I just want to stop you real quick. That was really nice that you just said. You said some people may view me as negative, and that's solid.
I mean, it's important for me to recognize that self-reflection.
Same. And I feel like I wouldn't have thought that until I just heard you say that.
Yeah. Well, see, look.
Wow.
This is why this conversation is good.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm going to segue to one last topic.
Okay.
But we were having a conversation the other day about you saying that you don't think you will ever propose again.
Oh, yeah. So I'll start this off with, for the listener, my current relationship status is actually complicated, okay? We'll say that. We will say I did propose to a beautiful young lady. She said yes. We were and are, again, going back to complicated, engaged. Proposal is something that I feel like, again, the person giving the ring has accepted who and what they'll do and how they'll be, and they've accepted the relation of an engagement because they're the one that's presenting the ring, whereas to the one accepting it still needs to have time to actually process what's going on. When I say I won't propose again, I will never put myself in that ready of a position without being absolutely certain that the other wasn't on board.
So you might propose again,
no,
as long as
I won't propose again.
You'll be proposed to, possibly.
This is possible.
But you don't think that you would take the initiative to do that?
No.
Are you angry, or is it you think that possibly is hurt talking, or?
No, I don't. I just think it is off of experience. And again, I know what I experienced. I know it may sound hella loony to other people, but I know how vulnerable and how, I mean, I really can't, I'm not too much of a religious person, but I know how much of a person that I did, how much of that leaf I turned, you know? So to have that acceptance within self and then to project that on someone else, now you're kind of on their time clock. So while I was continuing to be for us, this person was still accepting, you know, the engagement, and it was still very them. So
let me make sure I understand.
Yeah.
What I hear, and tell me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Is that you felt like when you proposed, you understood that you were ready to commit to this person.
Yeah.
So that this commitment to this person would turn to a commitment to us.
Yeah.
And you were doing or responding and moving in this relationship for us,
Correct.
where that person was moving for them.
Correct.
You know, that's interesting. I mean, my last situation, I was in a relationship, and recently, newly out of a relationship. I get it. We are individuals, so you still have to be committed to you. Just because you are in a committed relationship doesn't mean that you lose who you are.
And see that, I think I was doing that.
But
I was doing exactly that.
So this person was moving only for themselves and not moving anything related to us.
Gotcha.
When I was doing a lot of us. And so it creates a conflict, right? You have an internal conflict of what the fuck am I doing? Why the fuck am I doing this?
Yep.
And what's the end result going to be? So yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. And do you have any belief that maybe this can be, worked out?
I believe I stated at the beginning of this podcast that communication is key. I've kept the open communication. I still have an open communication. I don't feel like I'm being petty or I'm being after a certain age, petty isn't petty no more. It's miserable. So I do feel like I'm definitely not.
Step back to that.
Step back, sure.
You said
after a certain age,
petty is not
miserable.
petty, but petty is miserable.
Yeah, after a certain age, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree with that.
For sure.
That's a strong statement.
So, yeah, I'm not being miserable or I'm not being petty. It's not the end of the world, you know? And again, talking back with her family, like I wanted to make sure that I did reach someone that was a little level-headed and somebody that did go through a divorce and stuff like that, her mother, you know? And so, you know, we did have a long conversation and we are on the same page with things. And again, that's why I'm kind of giving her space to be a female and be upset and handle her emotions the way that she's going to handle them.
Okay, hold up. I'm going to push back a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. You said I'm going to allow her to be a female and deal with her emotions. Something of that nature. Now, why? I mean, because the thing is this, I'm a firm believer that I believe that males are more emotional than females.
I will agree, sure.
And I feel like females tend to have a better understanding of their emotions and can communicate better or more effectively what those emotions are. Okay. And so why do you think her gender has anything to do with her inability or ineffective way of dealing with her emotions? So
exactly like what you said, the way you said it. Females do a great job of describing or telling what those emotions are. And not to say that's just it, but sometimes that can just be it. Like a female will say, "Hey, I'm angry," and that's it. As a male, we'll definitely express that bit, but it may come across in the action. So you at least see, and feel. And then furthermore, we are able to move on. I'm saying, hey, I'm angry, but this is plan A, plan B. Whereas to the female, at least the one that I've dealt with, it has very been, hey, I'm angry. I need time to not be angry now.
You think is also attributed to her being female?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think sex plays a huge role in the mind, the way that one thinks. Yeah. Absolutely.
Have you tried to communicate this to her, though?
Yeah, sure.
And did you think it was effective or ineffective or didn't go anywhere or what?
Again, because of the emotions that she is experiencing, I don't think that she's able to process it.
Basically, she can't receive the love and the emotion that you're giving her.
Even if it was the message.
The message, yeah.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of young that. I like to read. I listen to her podcast a lot. And receiving, if a person cannot receive you, your message, your energy, your love, your emotions, your concerns, if they can't receive you, then they can't be with you.
Okay.
They can't respect you.
Yeah.
They can't understand you. And they definitely can't appreciate you because you have to receive it. Yeah. And I think in my last relationship, that was the problem, that there was no reception of what I was given, even though there was the pretending. At least I think it was pretending, or just an inability to receive it. And if you can't receive something, it's going to be rejected no matter which angle it's coming from. And that's not a dig on that person, and that's not a dig on you. It's just that the time, the energy, the space in that moment didn't allow the reception to
Absolutely.
occur.
Again, going back to it being complicated, it's not like I don't want us to be together. I do love this person. And this has definitely been somebody that I see a future with. But I do understand timing and space. And I do feel that she is not ready.
Okay.
As far as timing.
So let me ask this.
Yeah.
Going back to what's on the menu today, divorce in 2019 and engage in 2020. Let me see if I can get you a commitment on this podcast right now. Okay. Here's what I want you to divorce. I want you to divorce in 2019. That means by 11:59 p.m. be committed to this thought. What was ineffective in 2019 does not dictate what possibly can be in 2020.
Okay, I received that.
Okay, and I want you to engage in 2020 with the perspective, right, that new and better things are on your horizon.
Absolutely.
And even if that is things that are in the past, whether this is your fiance or your ex-fiance, however you want to identify her as now, maybe that reception is going to be available in 2020. Yeah. And so this concept of I'm never going to propose again, I hope, I pray.
Well, I appreciate that.
That your heart receive the fact that you being able to recognize another individual's ability to be part of you is important.
Yeah.
And if you give that up, then I think personally you give up the perspective of recognizing, receiving, and being truly in love with someone.
I feel that.
So I'm going to ask you to divorce that concept in 2019 and engage in 2020 and stick with the topic that we have here at Peace Creek. All right, so we are going to end this conversation. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank Monty Guns for participating, stepping in, and being in this conversation today.
Thank you.
You are a positive individual. I remember when you first crossed in 2014. I crossed in 2005. Oh, we never told the people. Most people, everyone should already know is on my page, but I am a Sigma. That means that I am a member of the oh so awesome, oh so great Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Blue Phi. All right. So yeah. So I saw you in 2014. I thought you were doing great and positive things. We started interacting with each other and communicating, hanging out. And I feel your energy. I like your energy. You get on my damn nerves sometimes. I'm sure I get on yours, vice versa. But, you know, I appreciate you being here, stepping in and having a conversation with us.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Cafe.
This is definitely great.
Thank you for having me. All right. So for those of you out there listening, make sure that you enjoy the rest of your 2019. In fact, you should have already enjoyed your 2019 because by the time this comes out, it will be 2020. And so all the music that you heard on the podcast today, actually not all of the music, but the theme music was created by my brother Crazy Dreek out of Detroit, Michigan for Blazing Heat Music. The other music was created by me that you heard where it said, hey, the cafe and all that. That was me. You know, I'm kind of creative when I want to be. But until we come back again and you hear us again on the podcast, make sure that you drink and listen and converse. Peace and love.